right? Landing lights down, runway lights. Is there anything we're forgetting? And welcome to Washington, D.C., where we're cold and dark. And we're going to take a little jaunt. I think that's how they say it. I don't know. I don't have a British accent. I don't know if that messes with my credentials or my credibility, but I'm going to try to do this with the best I can. Anyway, we're heading to from Reagan right now. In fact, Reagan's got some challenges today because taking off from Reagan, you don't want to hit the wrong area. The restricted areas, not very pleasant. So anyway, let's go ahead and get from cold and dark, and let's get started up here. All right, let's drop that guard right there. I'm trying to give y'all the best view that I can. Sometimes I'm still getting used to having someone looking over my shoulder. So anyway, so far what I've done for anyone who's just getting familiar, went ahead and dropped my battery guard flap on my power. I'm going to go over here. I always do this. I always knock my fuel pumps on and go ahead and I start up. Since we're not going to be here that long in DC, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the APU. I would rather do that. In fact, let me do one thing here before we get going too. I've been using a little bit of the data output, but I'm gonna turn it off. Don't really need it for this trip here. There we go. Right, you see there we have a low oil pressure light that pops up, which means I'm ready to hold down the 3 seconds here. Let's fire it up. Ooh, love that noise. The sound of power coming up. All right. This looks like we are about there. What I'm waiting for here is for us to get power. While this is settling out, while the APU is coming up, I'm going to go ahead and go up here to my IRS and set it to navigation, nav, and let it start its process and make sure that it comes up right. I don't think it did. There we go. Alright, you see here we've got APU is going. Let's go over here and open up the APU bleed so that way we don't die of carbon monoxide poison. Hate to do that on the ground. And we want to bring up the bus, so now we have full power. Drop that full guard flap. Some other settings here that, and these will come into play because when it comes time to fire up the engines, we need that pressure. I'm going to turn off the recirculating fans. APU stays up. the packs are off. Packs need to be off, and I'm just going to leave everything else in that place. Over here. And then let's go to our FMS here. Init reference here. See here, I don't have to do this, but I'm going to put in the DCA, which is Reagan, for our airport. Ooh, that's that nice little piece there. Gives us a good setting, but also you'll find your location settings right here. It should be about the same. Should look about the same. 51 point. Yeah, in fact they are. Give me a different angle there. And when I do that, yeah, bam. Good shape there. And we used SimBrief, which is a subscription, and anyone who does not know what it is, I'll be glad to have it in the comment section. SimBrief here is where we are able to set up our flight, go and plan our flight. There are other sources, it's just the one that I use. You use the one you're most comfortable with, but I love SimBrief because also it works in partnership with Navigraph. So this is all part of my same subscription, and I'll be able to pull some information that we need off of Navigraph. And also I love Navigraph because we have a running map, and we're able to see our flight from start to finish here. Right now we're up here in DC. We're just going down to Charlotte today. Not a very long flight. In fact, you can see how long it is. It's well, we don't know yet. We'll know in a minute. But it's not far at all, really. It's maybe 350 miles ish. But we'll get the exact number here shortly. There we go. So we've loaded in our flight plan through SimBrief, and that's something we'll walk through. That's a whole other demonstration to show you how to actually load this piece. But once your flight plan's made, and once you have downloaded your flight plan through SimBrief, it is in your X plane, and this is how we get to it here. So I'm going to activate that. Let's check, see if we have anything we need to change or alter. I do see a piece there. I'll change that. Right, and then now I'm going over here to the AV tab, and I love this. I love this part of the 737 here. Just this little feature. We need to go in here and get our people going. So we've activated our flight plan there. And just watch the magic. Here, I'm going to just sit here for a minute. That's cool. Not really excited about Austin's vegan food, but here we are. They're quick. Yeah, how quick does it? How long does it take to load a piece of lettuce? Okay. By the way, some beautiful views. We are, of course, here in DC, beautiful DC. You see the Capitol off there in the distance. In fact, I like freeing up. If I free up the camera, we can actually take a little trip. Why don't we go over there? See the Capitol. With your ADD pilot. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Man, that's so cool. I love what they've done. And this is actually straight out of X-Plane 12. There's nothing, haven't dressed up anything on this particular part. So what you're seeing right now is straight out of X-Plane. It's this isn't scenery that I've purchased or any additions. Of course, there's the mall. That is so cool. Oh, we're going to fly somewhere today. Here we go. The Washington Monument. By the way, even the textures, they did a great job on those textures. Look at that. Why don't we go over here and see Lincoln? And there he is. Peekaboo. Lincoln on his chair there. Anyway, back to business. You notice and see what we've got loaded so far. So it says here, by the way, and just know this whenever you're using the Z mode, Zibo for passenger boarding. We have to set no smoking switch to off and then back to on and auto. So I just pop this thing off. Come over here. See here in the background? Passengers. Yeah. It'd be a boring flight without people with us. Okay. All right, let's pull out the checklist. We're gonna walk through some of what we've already done. Just make sure which was the battery switches we did, our GPU and APU. Something neat about the built-in checklist, you may have your own, and I use some off the iPad, and that's it will actually kind of give you a little tip about what it's talking about.
For departure, please. Cross-check and all call.
So, like the voice recorder there. Put that off there. What else we got?
All right, we've got everyone strapped in.
Equipment.
Give us a ring if you need anything.
Lights.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and
GPS
gentlemen.
light. Service phone. Engine panel. Oxygen panel. And parking brake is on. We're good there. Pre-flight, we have put in our initial data, but this is where we're going to start working on our data, making sure everything's set for the trip. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to bring over my Navigraph chart information, which gives me needed info we'll use for this. So we're going to do a request here. Initiating.
Please do not stow these items in the seat pocket in front of you. Place them directly on the floor or hold them on your lap during taxi, takeoff, and landing. This is not just about the policy, but a regulation.
And on our reserves, what is, let's look what our fuel reserves will be today. That's the fin res here, the fuel reserves. We'll have about put that will be about 1,000 right there. So we'll put a 1 in there. Okay. Cost index, by the way, it lines up with the Navigraph charts here. The CI, if you're ever wondering if you have Navigraph charts, CI is 26, CI 26. So let's go to our N1 limit. It's got us here at, I think we're all right on those settings. Let's go to takeoff. We're going to try for a flaps 5, and we'll see if that's going to be enough. There we go. So we put it in a flaps 5. That gives us a V1 of 135, a VR of 137, and a V2 147. What I do usually up here is I have a, I can't wait to show you this at some point, but I have my own MSD, a complete MSD, and also if you don't see my cursor, mouse cursor around something, it's because I'm doing it on the MSD physically here. So for our mock settings, or our speed settings, let's look at that. I'm going to put in 137. We're going to be at a heading when we take off of 101. Look at there. And
if you're unable to perform these functions, please let us know, and we'd be happy to find you another seat.
And I'm going to let VNav control my altitude when we come up, but we've got a but my altitude settings. If you'll look down here, it will give us our initial altitude settings. I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them alone, and let VNav work with me on that. So, we're at RTO. And for our altitude setting, I'm going to have it initially. I'm going to have it up here to 4,000, but I'll probably be going higher quickly. But it says here that the Rev G at a heading of 341, we're going to be at about 3 miles for very low altitude. We're under a restriction of 1,500 feet, 1,500 feet. We'll see how that goes. So, in fact, we'll go ahead and leave that at our cruise altitude setting, because VNav is going to work with us to make sure we're where we should be. I'm a little more nervous in DC because it's so easy to be in the wrong airspace, and you get fussed at. You get fussed at a lot here.
you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down
So
on
let's
the
go
right
back
tab
and
at the bottom of the vest.
run through some things on the MSD again,
Blowing into the tube at
because it
shoulder
never
level.
hurts to check and double check.
You can activate a light by pulling down on the tab in the front.
Also
If
for
your vest
ascent.
doesn't have a tab, the light will activate automatically in the water. If necessary, we'll distribute into life vests or other flotation devices for children who weigh 35 pounds or less. Also, most seat cushions can be used for flotation. Now, before we take off, ensure your seat is upright, your aisle armrests are lowered, your tray table is put away, and all carry-on items are properly stepped. As we come through the cabin,
I'm doing a quick check of our weather, and we may listen to ATIS also. Well, not may, we do. We will listen to ATIS.
Everyone to review is safety information card, which is in your seat pocket.
On behalf of everyone at Delta Airlines, we want to thank you for...
Actually, I've got ATIS info here.
And enjoy your flight.
Zero degrees, 15 knots, gusts 25. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 0. Dew point minus 12. Altimeter 3003. Arriving runway 013304. Departing runway 013304. Advise on initial contact you have information Kilo. Ronald Reagan, Washington, NTNL, information, Kilo, 1950 Zulu. Wind 320 degrees, 15 knots, gusts 25. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 0. Dew point minus 12. Altimeter 3003. Arriving runways 013304. Departing runways 013304. Advise on initial contact you have information, Kilo. Ronald Reagan, Washington, NTNL, information.
Okay, good there. Some things I just want to make sure they're bright enough. You see how this panel is kind of dark? It's the one in between the seats and console. I like bringing that setting up so I can see it. Our last thing that we might do today, and I'm kind of nervous doing it because this is a live stream. This is the first time I've used it with this much freedom, but we will bring up say intentions, and say intentions can also at times overtalk me, but I think we may include them in our conversation
Okay, the
today.
cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
And we'll bring them in, let you hear them. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just take us. Let's just go for it. Let's bring them up. Welcome to Say Intentions. Like I said, this might cut out on some of my talking moments, but y'all might enjoy actually hearing some of the interactions. It's pretty really good. Let's bring up our information. Okay. Hey Brian, our co-pilot, would you go ahead and request IFR clearance for us?
requesting IFR clearance now.
Reagan clearance B738601, November Victor. We'd like to receive our IFR clearance. We have Delta.
B738601, November Victor, Reagan clearance, cleared to Charlotte via the Scram 6 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 340 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.65, squawk 3517.
Reagan clearance B738601, November Victor, cleared to Charlotte via the Scram 6 departure, then as filed. Climb to and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 340 10 minutes after takeoff. Departure frequency 125.65, squawk 3517.
B7381, November Victor, read back correct.
Captain Good, boarding has started and the first passengers are aboard the plane. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight with from Washington to Charlotte. We kindly ask you to take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of our crew members, including myself, Caroline, and my wonderful colleagues, James, Sarah, and Michael. Thank you for choosing to fly with us today.
We're having to make a change to our FMS to accommodate the Scram departure. Scram. Okay. We'll see how this goes. It's taking us out at a bearing of 239. And I think part of that has to do with our takeoff. We cannot go over the Capitol, anything. So I think that's what the whole purpose in that is. So I've got it set here for Scram, and that should take us out safely. Brian, do you want to go ahead and get push and start clearance?
Sure thing, Steve. Requesting pushback now.
B7381, November Victor, pushback approved, tail north.
Brian, I couldn't hear you.
Pushback approved, tail north.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing. Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Thank you, buddy.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Wonderful. By the way, I apologize if I'm not responding to any messages. While we're on this, I am still getting my groove, my balance on this.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Let's go.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
When he says light them up, what he's saying, what he means is fire up the engines.
Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo, proceed to the maintenance area via taxiway hotel contact ground on 121.9.
Proceeding to the maintenance area via hotel contacting ground on 121.9 Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight with our virtual airline from Washington to Charlotte. We are delighted to have you with us today. My name is Caroline, and I'll be your lead flight attendant. Flying with me are Captain Steve Good and First Officer Brian Song, along with my wonderful colleagues Emily, Jake, and Sarah. We expect a flight time of just about 1 hour. Now, let us go over some important safety information. First, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To unfasten, simply lift the buckle. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth and secure it with the elastic band.
Just about
Remember
done
to
here.
secure
Go ahead and set
own
your parking
mask
brake.
before assisting others. For those of you seated near an emergency exit, please take a
And
moment
we're
to locate
disconnecting the
nearest
tow.
exit,
Give me just a
which may
moment.
be behind you. There are 2 exits at the front, 2 over the wings, and 2 at the rear of the aircraft. In the event of an evacuation, follow the illuminated exit.
Alright, here's where we're going to start
Lastly, if we
bringing
need to
up
use the
our
life vests, they are
window
located
heat
under your seat. To use them, pull the
robes.
vest out, place it over your head, and pull the straps around your waist.
Bring up the recirculating
Inflate the
fans,
vest by pulling the red tabs or by
packs
pulling into the
on
tube.
auto,
Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant flight. Oh, and just a
electric
quick
hydraulic
reminder,
pumps.
after our meal service, we'll be coming around with items from our airline shop, so stay tuned for that. Now, Captain Good, the cabin is ready for departure.
Thank you, Caroline. Right, bring up the buses for the engines. No, powered on engines.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Oh, left. You said left. Your other left. This guy's fast, by the way. I just tell he's just able to get out of that truck and bam, he's there. Where's the pin? Where are you? Right. Get our lights on. Take our engines to
Embraer 225 Echo Mike taxi to holding point Bravo 1 via taxiways Alpha and Charlie.
Taxiing to holding point Bravo 1 via Alpha and Charlie Embraer 225 Echo Mike.
MBS 705 Reagan ground taxi to general aviation parking at your discretion. Good day.
Park at our discretion, MBS 705, good day. Reagan ground, United 1630. Please taxi to gate.
Our cruise altitude is 340 today. All right. Brian, would you get us clearance to taxi?
Requesting taxi clearance now, Steve.
Reagan Ground, B738-601 November Victor, requesting taxi clearance. We have Delta.
B738, 1 November Victor, taxi to runway 1 via Kilo Charlie, cross runway 04, then Juliet.
Runway 1, Kilo Charlie, cross 04, then Juliet, B738-601 November Victor.
Not like it's a big airport, but I still check. So right now where we're, it says here that we're going to be going via Kilo Charlie, cross one way 04, then Juliet. So Kilo. See there, so Kilo Charlie, and here's where we're going. So right turn.
Embraer 225 Echo Mike taxi to holding point Bravo 1 via taxiways Alpha and Charlie.
Taxiing to holding point Bravo 1 via Alpha and Charlie Embraer 225 Echo Mike.
While we're
Blue Streak 9013, startup approved. Blue Streak 9013, request taxi.
While we're taxiing, I'm switching
Blue
to
Streak 9013,
flaps 5.
request taxi to runway 1.
Okay, we're at flaps 5. Cleared across runway 04. See where we are. We're runway 1 here, holding short, and we'll get Brian to get our clearance to take off. Brian, we can get our takeoff clearance while we do our final checks.
Requesting takeoff clearance now, Steve.
Okay, we got it. This is a 415-mile journey. FMS looks good. We're on Brian, did you get our takeoff clearance?
Reagan Tower, B738, 601 November Victor, holding short of runway 01, ready to depart.
B738, 601 November Victor, Reagan Tower, runway 01, winds 310 at 19er, gusting 31. RNAV Rev G, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 01, RNAV Rev G, cleared for takeoff, B738, 601 November Victor.
We got some winds on takeoff. We ought to feel that. Okay. Flaps 5. Whoa. Okay. All right, let's go. Now, when we take off, we are going to be using the Scram 6 departure because of DC and all the restrictions on the airspace. So, we'll see that when we get up there. See if I do it right. I could mess it up completely. We'll see. I'm playing the best I could. Alright, you see straight out there. Alright, here goes. Something reset. Go. All right. Let's go. That wind, I can already feel it. Rotate.
Positive rate.
What's up? VNav? LNav?
400.
Command A?
Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie, make a right turn heading 180 traffic at your 9 o'clock, 1 mile altitude, 1500 feet.
Right turn to 180, looking for traffic, Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie.
B738, 1 November Victor, contact departure on 125.65.
Contact departure on 125.65, B738, 601 November Victor.
I think we did it right. Yay! We're not shut out of the sky.
Potomac departure, B738, 601 November Victor. Good afternoon, we're climbing past 1,000.
B738, 601 November Victor, Potomac departure, radar contact. Cleared direct Beagle, climb and maintain flight level 200.
Cleared direct Beagle, climb and maintain flight level 200, B738, 601 November Victor.
Alright, that was a lot smoother than I anticipated, and it boils down to planning. we have speed restrictions right now. That's why we are going a lot slower. We're at a speed restriction for 220 unless we are told by ATC that we can go direct. We're going to be kind of poking along here for a moment. Okay, we've been cleared direct to Beeble. Cleared direct to Beeble. So let's do that. And we can climb and maintain 200. I'm a little slow.
B738, 1 November Victor, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220, B738, 601 November Victor.
FedEx 1243, have your approach descend and maintain 4,000 cleared to direct Cobham, join 27 localizer. Descending to 4,000 direct Cobham, joining 27 localizer, 1243.
Climb and maintain flight level 280, Delta 1003.
Longitude 4, Juliet Lima, traffic at your 2 o'clock, 4 miles. At flight level 2,000 feet, type unknown. Copy, how many feet have traffic at 2 o'clock, 4 miles? 9. Flight level 2000, 84 Juliet.
I was a little slow, by the way. I would on this IFR, they had cleared us to Beeble, and we were currently at that point on Scram, and I didn't hear it. I was too busy changing camera angles, so that took us. They went ahead and cleared us direct to Beeble, so that should put us back on our regular IFR, our flight plan. Here's where that is. Say Intentions. I have a log. If you look on there, clear direct to Beeble. Now they're telling me I can maintain 220. And they'll step climb me up to my cruise altitude.
B738, 1 November Victor, climb and maintain flight level 270.
Climb and maintain flight level 270, B738, 601 November Victor.
Dear guests, we are now at a safe altitude and you may use your electronic devices. Please ensure that they are set to airplane mode. Also, our onboard Wi-Fi service is now available for you to enjoy during the flight. After our meal service, we will be coming around with items from our airline shop, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
We're coming in at Charlotte on runway 36 right. I'm going to go ahead and begin planning for that. We are 321 miles from Charlotte.
United 1244, cleared the visual 27. Cleared for the visual 27, United 1244.
340, Pro Flight 682.
Jazz 866, climb and maintain flight level 270.
Maintain flight level 270, Jazz 866.
B738, 1 November Victor, Potomac departure. You've entered prohibited airspace. Turn around immediately and exit.
Turning around immediately to exit prohibited airspace. B738, 601, November, Victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached cruising altitude, and we will be starting our snack and drink service shortly. We have some delightful options for you today.
B738, 1 November Victor, possible pilot deviation. Advise when ready to copy a phone number.
We will also be offering items from our airline shop, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
We did go into that prohibited airspace after all.
B738, 1 November Victor, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 330, B738, 601, November, Victor.
Trying to figure out what went wrong there.
B738, 1 November Victor, contact Washington Center on 133.975.
Contacting Washington Center on 133.975. B738, 601, November, Victor. Washington Center, B738, 601, November, Victor. Afternoon. Climbing through flight level 180 for flight level 330.
B738, 601, November, Victor, Washington Center. Good afternoon. Spirit 117, cross miler at flight level 310. Crossing miler at flight level 310, Spirit 117.
Ryan, see if they will clear us direct to Pooch, P-O-O-C-H.
I'll request direct to Pooch.
I was a little late, by the way, on switching our air cabin pressure. I should have had that to standard.
B738, 1 November Victor, climb and maintain flight level 340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340, B738, 601, November, Victor.
Try to work through what happened when they gave us a vector, a direct. When they gave us a star or direction, it looks like I took it, but then it took us so far off of our route, it put us in restricted airspace. Not quite sure what happened there. I'm going to be looking at that while we're cruising. right here, we're finally getting back to business here. We're out of DC at least. We're northwest of DC. Ron, you think I ought to call that number that they gave me?
I'll request direct to Pooch now, Steve.
Brian, I think we're good. Good.
Washington Center B738601 November Victor requesting direct to Pooch.
Got it, Steve. I'll handle the request.
Sometimes he's too efficient.
Washington Center B738601 November Victor requesting direct route to Pooch.
Delta 1562, expedite descent to flight level 240, traffic ahead.
Expedite descent to flight level 240 Delta 1562.
American 2450, Washington Center, good morning.
We should be good. We're 31 nautical miles from Pooch now. You know, probably would help if I gave you something to look at there. We're good. Let's see. It's a beautiful livery. We're going to be introducing a new livery next week. Our brand Liberty, Liberty. Anyway, we'll be introducing that to our new livery next week. You get to see one that's kind of unique. I was working with a great company, Bravo, and they are designing it, putting it together for us. See how we look here. Are currently about 282 miles out of Charlotte. And if I go down here to my FMS, let's look at progress. So 279 miles to Charlotte.
Delta 401, clear direct to Delta Alpha November VOR. Clear direct to Delta Alpha November VOR, Delta 401. Negative KLM 271, I would like to request flight level 360. Calm 271, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 360, KLM 271.
See where we are now.
1,000 to go.
Almost there. And I think as little time as our passengers will have, I'm still going to give them a chance to kind of stretch their legs. But I got so sidetracked earlier with the airspace restrictions that I forgot to take off the landing lights. Yeah, true confessions, I'm sorry. I would say it won't happen again, but I don't know. It could, but yeah, I got a little worked up trying to make sure we were okay when we were in the restricted airspace. And while we're here, why don't we we've got the co-pilot taking care of things. Go back and see the plane. Shift, I'm holding down shift and button beside the question mark. Shot.
Cessna 723 Foxtrot Lima remain at or below 5,000. Remaining at or below 5,000 Cessna 723 Foxtrot Lima.
Command Air 143 Washington Center, good afternoon.
That is cool, by the way. If you realize the details and the reflections there, it's just awesome. See where top of descent is. Let's look at that. It says we're 128 miles, 127 miles from our descent time. We'll see. Sometimes I come down just a hair early. I have learned to work more closely with VNAV in terms of getting down our descent times down and doing it, more efficiently by the book. son just left the plane there. Take a look at our approach reference here to see where we are.
B738, 1 November Victor, expect the Chili 6 arrival. Descent coming up in about 15 minutes. Say the word if you want to descend sooner.
Expect the Chili 6 arrival. We'll let you know if we need an earlier descent. B738, 601 November Victor.
What we have here is what our gross weight, our approach will be, what our VREF needs to be. It's got here 159. I'm trying to put this in. Okay. So we are, looks like here we will be coming down. Our final flaps will be 30, and our final, like our landing speed will be around 146 knots. Probably a little bit less. Usually at 30, flaps 30, you can do a little better than that. So. Man, North Carolina is beautiful. Virginia and North Carolina. It's a beautiful place. So we're currently still on VNAV, LNAV, autopilot. Getting ready to reset the MSD for our approach and landing since we're runway 36. We're going to go to our airport on the AVTAP. This also gives us our altimeter, but we need runway 36 right.
Delta 1562, expedite descent to flight level 240, traffic ahead.
We're at 109,
Descent to
1089.
flight level 240, Delta 1562.
10890 for our ILS and mean sea level of 723. So it'll be 700 and 10890. Alright, ILS, our nav radio is set for the ILS 1089.9. Mean sea level, landing altitude will be 700 That's not exact, by the way. It's rounded up, but 700 for mean sea level. And our current weather is QNH of 3016. Here you see we have make sure our bug is lined up. I didn't have the bug where the bug needs to be. And also, we're gonna go with, for our skid, we'll leave it on 2. We'll have that left on 2. I know I got some real pilots laughing at me somewhere. I know this is our 2nd episode, and I normally am a stickler for the checklist. And on these first couple of episodes, I've just kind of shied away from it, just long enough to give everybody a feel for the Zibo model. So I will get better. For real pilots out there, I'll be good.
United 758, maintain separation with traffic ahead. Reduce speed to 200 knots.
Reducing to 200 knots for separation, United 758.
I do not anticipate a super busy airport in Charlotte, although it usually is. But we're not on the VAT sim for this particular flight, so it probably won't be as busy. We are lined up, like our arrival is going to be on the CHSLY 6, Chisley 6 arrival for 36 right, and we are already set up, and our arrival is set up for that location, so we're good there. Need a quick break before we descend, go ahead.
Alaska 709, clear direct to waypoint Bravo, Romeo, India. Clear direct to Bravo, Romeo, India, Alaska 709.
Brian, if you want, go ahead and get our clearance to descend.
Requesting descent clearance now, Steve.
Washington Center B738, 601 November Victor, requesting clearance to descend to flight level 220.
B738, 1 November Victor, descend and maintain flight level 220.
By the way, okay, so
descend and maintain flight level 220, B738, 601 November Victor.
Thank you, Brian. So I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, and an ex-cop. But so here's your stupid, corny joke of the day. Why do pastors make such awful pilots? Because they don't know how to land the plane. Go ask your mom or grandma, okay? Right? So first thing we have to do, by the way, to make this work. So right now it's giving me, you see my altitude right now is at 34,000. I'm gonna come down to 22,000, 220, excuse me. Let me talk right. And now when I go to the FMC, or the flight, I'm going to go to descend. See where it says descend now. I'm going to say descend. And you'll notice that we are starting our descent. Our current location of where we are. If you look, we are about 148 miles out of Charlotte right now. Coming in, so you see our location there. A little bit closer. So there it's Greensboro. We're probably about 60 miles out of Greensboro, something like that. On a path for Charlotte. There.
Cirrus 555, Sierra Mike traffic alert 2 o'clock, 4 miles opposite direction. Traffic in sight, Cirrus 555, Sierra Mike.
Right, so let's get a beat on what our descent's doing, about where we'll be and when. So on our current trajectory, we started at 34,000. We are descending to 22,000, which should take us to the Scalise waypoint, and I'll see if that's going to be good enough. If we need to speed up our descent at all. Well, according to this, if we're at 22,000, it's got us on a path at Scalise at around 22,220, and we want, by the time we get to Dent, we want to be at 16,000. That's not good enough. how we can fix that is I'm going to try to do some altitude intervention here. So I'm going to do get the right angle so y'all can see it. Altitude intervention. We'll see if we can adjust this a little bit, get a better, get a more accurate descent. So we want to be at Scalise. I'm going to go up to 2,000 feet per minute. We'll see if this helps. And our speed looks like it's okay. It looks like that speed's fine. Okay, so
FedEx 687 heavy descend and maintain flight level 260. Descending to flight level 260, FedEx 687 heavy.
I would just need to take control of our descent. This. Try to work with VNAV, but it looks like I can't get it to what I need it to be proper time. So if I take control, we do about a 1,600 feet per minute descent. At this point, we'll be down to 220 within the right time frame. How we doing? 25, 250. Yeah. And I'm getting close to going back to different cabin pressure, or coming off of standard. Here's what I'm looking at. 220 is for Scalise, and that's what we should be descending to under that one. We weren't kind of close, I don't think. But then we're doing step descending right now, just coming down little by little. Should be okay.
Southwest 280, continue climb to flight level 290.
continuing climb to flight level 290, Southwest 280.
To go, and our speed seems to be our gradual diminishing speed seems to be good. I think that looks really good right now.
B738 1 November Victor, contact Atlanta Center on 124.425.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 124.425. B738 601 November Victor. Atlanta Center, B738 601 November Victor, afternoon, descending through flight level 230 to flight level 220.
B738 601 November Victor, Atlanta Center, good afternoon.
If you want to keep up with the Navigraph map, there that'll give you an idea of where we are right now. In relation to our waypoints, we're in pretty good shape right now. I think we're on a gradual descent. We are now on our way to, we got 12 nautical miles to Dent, which we should be down to 16,000 by the time we get to Dent. So we're about to start that. From Dent to Clissy to Slofo. By Slofo.
Cirrus 555, Sierra Mike traffic alert 1-2 o'clock, 4 miles opposite direction.
Traffic in sight, Cirrus 555, Sierra Mike.
It should be down to 10 to 11,000. So we need to do some work. Let's get a guy. Right now we're at about 1,900 feet per minute, reducing altitude to 4,100, so 4100. We're currently at 260 and we're about to use some speed brakes and keep our speed in check, which it looks good. It looks good right now, but just keep that speed in check. We don't want to get that to get out of hand ever. It's nothing like having to use too much speed brake or too quick. Looks good. So far, our descent looks healthy, and that's, like I said, that's for me. It's been it's a challenge for me. I'm not a real pilot, I'm not a commercial pilot, and watching and trying to learn how to descend properly, that's been a big challenge. But little by little, I think the biggest thing is being intentional. Don't let the plane fly itself at moments. You just be conscious and don't lose your perspective or your awareness, and just guide it down little by little.
B738601 November Victor, Atlanta Center, contact Charlotte, approach on 125.35.
Switching to Charlotte, approach on 125.35, B738601 November Victor.
We're about 60 miles out of Charlotte right now.
Charlotte approach B738, 601 November Victor, afternoon, descending past 16,000.
B738, 601 November Victor, Charlotte approach, good afternoon, Lexington, altimeter 30.14.
5.11 Bravo Charlie squawk, 0315, switch to 135.4.
Squawking 0315, switching to 135.411 Bravo Charlie.
We'll take one last little look at our approach on 36 right. So you see the approach here. We watch that Heckham by Heckham about 6,000, coming down to Agenda about 5, step down. So a Heckham. Charlotte. All right, currently we're close. Coming up on we're 5.5 miles on Jamco to Wizzy, and then we'll begin to set up for our approach. Straight in. Go down to 225, and I'm going to need some brake. Landing lights on, under 10,000.
United 1244, cleared the visual 27.
Cleared for the visual 27, United 1244.
American 2901, turn left heading 165.
Can I have the frequency for Charlotte Tower?
We're at 1,300 feet per minute on our descent, headed toward was Cat. And we're going to slow our descent even a little bit more. We're in good shape right now. We have our pre-checklist for approach, though we are at no flaps yet. We're at 2 on our anti-skid for our brakes. Lights are already on. We are about 30 miles out from the airport. Nav radio is set. We are on course at the moment for our approach.
UPS 1302, heavy descend to 5,000, expect RNAV approach runway 21.
Descending to 5,000, expecting RNAV 21, UPS 1302, heavy.
In the distance, you see the Charlotte skyline. It's kind of cool. Hey. Charlotte Airport, I think, out to our right side there. looks like here we are about 7.5 miles from making a turn. We're currently on a due south course of 184, and we're about to make a turn at 280 at 6 miles. This is setting up for the runway, setting up for our approach. I'll try sunglasses. Sometimes they're a little too dark. I don't know, it's not too bad. It kind of definitely darkens the console or the dashboard, but I can still see everything, and makes for a nice look outside though. Airport. Us.
Cessna 714 Lima cleared for the visual on 8 left. Maintain 9 knots.
Cleared visual 8 left 90 knots, 714 Lima.
Alright, we're changing altitude now to 3,000. I'm going to flaps 5 right now. Bringing back speed brake to armed and ready. We're bringing back our speed. To 165. Flaps 10 right now. Flaps 10. Always kind of push that a little bit. Right, we're currently at heading of 310. And we're about to activate the localizer. We're at a speed of 155 at the moment. We're at flaps 15. Flaps 15.
B738601 November Victor, Charlotte approach. Contact Charlotte Tower on 118.1.
Switching to Charlotte Tower on 118.1. B738601 November Victor.
Cessna 82 Charlie Bravo, turn left, heading 120, cleared ILS 6.
Left to 120, cleared ILS 682 Charlie Bravo.
Charlotte Tower, B738601 November Victor. Afternoon, we're established on the ILS for runway 36 right approach.
B738,
601 November Victor, Charlotte Tower, winds 340 at 12, gusting 18. Runway 36 right, cleared to land.
Woohoo!
Runway 36 right, cleared to land. B738, 601 November Victor.
Sweetest words in the English language. Established on the localizer and cleared to land. Right. Currently at flaps 25. We're about to go flaps 30. We're reducing our speed to 145. Landing lights are good. Put some more lights on.
The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please recheck the security of your seatbelt.
Caroline, we're about to touch down.
Okay, Captain, preparing for landing.
There's a lot that I'm learning, and I hope you see. I will be the first to confess all the things I'm doing wrong on some of these flights, but it's a learning curve, and I'm hoping this will help some of y'all as you kind of figure out everything. But I would say this: what I've learned the most is intentional. Plan. Don't think twice about spending more time on the ground. Planning. Navigate your navigation. So I think that plays big into this whole process. Risky.
40, 30, 20,
nice runway. Looks new.
10.
Right, we're on the ground. Reversers, we're going. Flaps up.
80 knots.
Say hi to the National Guard. Wow, that looks nice. Thrusters off.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain
B738, 1 November Victor, welcome to Charlotte. Contact ground on 121.8.
This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get off
ground on
and move about the cabin.
B738, 601 November Victor.
When opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during landing. You may now use your mobile phones and other handheld
Charlotte ground B738, 601 November Victor afternoon. We are clear of runway 36 right and ready to taxi to the gate.
We invite you to visit
B738, 601 November Victor, Charlotte ground, taxi to A1 via Alpha 4, cross runway 05, then Bravo, Foxtrot. Have a good day.
Baggage claim.
A1 via Alpha 4, cross 05, Bravo, Foxtrot, B738, 601 November Victor.
On behalf of Delta Sky Team, our global partners, and especially your flight crew,
we made
we'd like
it.
to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again.
I don't mind going slow. I do not mind. Don't want to hit a building. And hey. By the way, this is a beautiful airport. I'll give you a better shot of it in a minute, but let's give you the distance shot. It is beautiful. Right, here's what I usually, this is just me. I go ahead and I get ground services to hook up the GPU, and that's not real time because it's very quick. Knock that on, and then I can bring down the engines.
Falcon 762 Foxtrot Romeo cross runway 24 contact ground on 121.6.
Crossing runway 24, contacting ground on 121.6, Falcon 762 Foxtrot Romeo.
American 548, Charlotte ground taxi to gate Charlie 9. At your discretion, have a good evening.
Right, we have engines standing.
Charlie 9 at our discretion. American 548, good night. Charlotte ground, 80578, request.
Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-check and all call.
Well, I hope we all learned something. I always do, and I think the most stressed I was on the flight was trying to figure out what I did wrong with air traffic control in DC, the restricted airspaces, and I think they had sent me to a particular location, but I didn't realize how it related. I think I missed how it related to my my flight plan, and I kind of missed. I thought if I just simply put it in front of my flight plan that it would be okay. So I think we ran into that today. That was aggravating, but overall I think flight itself was good. A lot to learn.
Please place an item underneath the seat in front of you. Good evening and welcome aboard.
This always lets you know at least how you did, like our approach rating. Oh, our approach rating today was really good. So our approach rating was you got 3 stars for that, and it'll let us know what we did wrong. Got really a landing rating pretty good. So land flaps, app speed below 400. I'd not set landing flaps below 500. Okay, all right, and all right, approach speed at 500 feet AGL. Okay, so you learn. You always learn something from those things there. Nothing. So it was good. I hope to see y'all. Email me. You can email me at PreacherPilot737 at gmail.com, or you can leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know where we want to fly to. I try not to fly long distances, but we're looking for like 2.5 hour flights at the max, and let's go places and just have some fun, and let's learn about the Zibo 737 and X-Plane 12. It's awesome.
Cherokee Tree
Can't say
15
enough.
X-ray Papa, hold short of taxiway Delta traffic on final approach.
Holding short of Delta Cherokee Tree 15 X-ray Papa.
See everyone on the next one. Here, let's, oh, hold on. We need a good outside shot. Let's don't stop at this. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So from Charlotte, goodbye until we see